do that.
Just cut it.
Good evening and good afternoon, and welcome to season 5, episode 21 of the Leaders Only digital show and podcast. I am Samaj.
And I'm Kendall.
We're brought to you today by Would Have Changed Mentoring and Tone Drone. It's today's episode. We'll be talking about a few black athletes' stories. So please invite your friends, family to check out the Leaders Only show. Have a watch party. Subscribe to our channel. Like it, share it, hit the bell, comment below. If you're watching the live stream, that's okay. But if you're not, hit the hashtag replay in the comments just to let us know that you came by and supported.
Yes,
Today
sir.
we
Yes,
have an
sir.
update on Caleb Wilson. The investigation into Southern University student Caleb Wilson's death revealed that the initial story given to police that Wilson collapsed at a Baton Rouge Breck Park was false. Wilson and other pledges of Omega Psi Phi were actually at a warehouse in Baton Rouge during an unsanctioned fraternity ritual when he was punched in the chest and collapsed. He was later pronounced dead at a local hospital. There were 9 pledges in the line, each allegedly forced to endure blows to the chest. When Wilson was struck, he reportedly collapsed, suffering a seizure at the warehouse. Man, that's tough. First and foremost, man, as we always do, man, we want to send our condolences out and our prayers to the family. It's always a touchy subject when someone loses their life. Me, uh, being a college graduate and knowing that what that lifestyle is like, I won't go into detail, in my personal feelings because I have my own feelings about, you know, us being Greek, you know what I mean, at this point in my life, just knowing what I know. But I do have some friends who are such, and I am able to speak to a couple of them and we can see eye to eye. Outside of that, man, it's just tough because, hazing is a part of the Divine Nine, fraternities and sororities, period, sports teams. I think it's all about how far you go. I've seen things in my past that were worse than this in terms of, just being punched in the chest with boxing gloves. So they say that's what they had. But it's just tough, man, because you don't know what people's conditions are. So you can hit somebody who may have a heart condition and they can pass away, which is why it's always cool to keep your hands to yourself. When you're dealing with sports, you talked about hazing, like carrying shoulder pads, carrying helmets, picking up lunch, dinner, stuff like that, maybe cleaning somebody's dorm room or something. But at where I stand today, I would never, want my child to have to go through something to be a part of something in that way. I would, rather my child, just learn the truth and really find out who they are because that's the slippery slope. You know what I mean? You got people, who are upholding a whole organization's beliefs and what the organization standing for, but every person individually may not be healed. Every person may not be a great person. Every person, may not be upholding the standard to what that organization is. And some people, which is a lot of people, when they get in positions of power, they abuse it. You know what I mean? And you you got these pledges, and they want to be a part of something so bad that they willing to damn near give their life for it. And in this case, somebody lost their life, and it's just sad because now it's a reflection upon the whole organization. So there has to be some type of tightening up, or monitoring the way that things go about when they're doing the hazing. But as far as, just the way that I see those organizations, I just know a lot of people that are a part of them, being a college graduate, and I just try to keep myself and my truth to myself unless somebody is, able to speak on that. Outside of that, I get it. I get that's just a part of college, and people be wanting to be a part of things for certain reasons, for benefits. Some people, it helps them come out of their shell, gives them a backbone in a sense. Um, I just send my heart out to another brother's family, who loses their life, but then also the family of the young men that are going to be going to jail now for life. You know what I mean? Be it involuntary manslaughter, or first degree murder. They will be behind bars. And again, we know the numbers, so it's not something that we look forward to. It's something that we support. If you really want to be a part of an organization, you want to uphold the organization, find the great things about the organization to uphold, and that in itself is hard in a world of so much low vibrational stuff. You will still have to endure struggle, sacrifice to be a part of. That's even if you have to get up at 4 o'clock a.m. That's if you have to run a mile a day, if you got to do 200 push-ups a day, if you got to read 30 pages a day. It's so many ways that you can challenge a prestigious young man, because these organizations are supposed to represent prestige. You know what I'm saying? They're supposed to represent a status quo of our community, that is like, oh, I made it. You know what I mean? I built myself to be a part of this organization, to get connections, to be a upstanding citizen, to raise a family, to get a career job. You know what I'm saying? To be successful. This is supposed to be a badge of honor. Like, this is just another, you know what I mean, organization that represents success to our people. And I'll be respectful and leave it there. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, above all, our truth, we need to find out who we are, so you don't have to go through this. And it can be a choice. I'm gonna just use this organization as far as me contributing my assets, and I want what they have to get back. But I do know the truth, and I know who I am, and I'm confident with that. To whereas if you about to put your hands on me, I can walk away. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times when we're young, we don't have that confidence. We want to be a part of something because we don't have the family. You know what I mean? We didn't have our pops to look up to. Most cases, I'm not saying all, because some people join because it is a heritage thing. It's been passed on. I'm just saying from my experience, what I've seen. A lot of young men, a lot of times, they look for that brotherhood. They're looking for that fellowship. They're looking for that that thing that brings them out of their shell. You know what I mean? Wherever they're from, they might not be as popular, or you know what I mean. It puts the exclamation point on their college experience. So for someone to lose their life, it's just sad. You know what I mean? What you think, bro?
Uh, oh man, you pretty much summed it up, man. Cause I took it in as what you commented. Hold on, before we go any forward, David
Tradition
Davis.
kills.
Yeah, man, we see you, man. You absolutely right. Um, but I just learned the lesson, just from your perspective and how you feel. Even though you ain't go too deep into it, I don't know, because I didn't go to college. So it's like I'm from the outside looking in. I see a ton of the stories. Fam,
Hmm.
you had a situation one time, with the band guy. So I always see the stories, but I don't really know what's going on with the situation in depth. So by you being there, seeing it, and being part of a football organization.
Yeah,
That was one of the organizations that's in college: football, basketball, sports. Period. And y'all had y'all things that y'all had to do.
yeah,
So
yeah,
um, it's kind of touching now to see where you're at in life now and how it affects you now, and how back then it was you was affected by so many different things, whether it's what you was eating, whether who you was surrounded by, and whether like I said, the tradition of the organization, what they regularly do. You reversed it. Now you resort to no violence. And I remember being called several times. Because I'm from the outside. And I'm in the different lane, which was the streets. So they look at me as one of the protectors, and it's like, damn, I'm looked at as a protector to come protect, but y'all also going through y'all own situation where it's causing deaths and harm and hurts and pain. So it's like, yeah, like I said, you summed it up and gave me a different lesson to learn about it,
yeah,
because it's crazy and it's not only just males going through it, females go through it with the Delta thing. I mean, the
Sororities.
different
Yeah.
sororities. So I think it's a degrading situation, but you know how it go. So thank you because it enlightened a
Yeah.
lot of us that don't even know.
Yeah.
Hazing
We
can
got
be
another
both
comment.
physical and mental due to. Hold on. He said hazing can be both physical and mental. Do you think that should be revisited? What do you
Yes.
think could take the place of hazing group wise? Like
That's
bro
yeah.
said, like bro said, Miss Denise, he said do positive things that could teach you, but it's also a challenge. Like making somebody do 10 push-ups a day is hard, if you're not used to working out. So that's a
Yeah.
challenge, and it's positive, and it's going to better the person at the same time that you're showing
I
them a
mean,
traditional.
and um,
Go ahead.
history, you know what I'm saying? History. You could go by what people majors are. And I know the standard might be 2.5, but you have to have a 3.0 during this
Mm-hmm.
period. You know what I'm saying? You got to
Mm-hmm.
show me that you could still wake up, come to meetings, do this, do that, but also excel in your personal life because that's how life is. You can
Mm-hmm.
sign up and be a part of whatever organization, you can work at whatever firm and whatever job, but as an individual, it's up to you to still work out. It's up to you to still read. It's up to you. So that's how life is. So you can prepare young men for life because it separates you regardless. Playing sports, being a student athlete separates you. Everything you choose extra, it separates you already. So it's like, and then doing things like, look, we going out, we'll play a joke on you. I mean, a form of hazing can be joking with people. Go. Can be joking. You know what I'm saying? Could be you picking up the tab. All of the members already that's here might be 10, 15 people, but you're gonna pick up the check. We might go out for pizza. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
might be 15 pizzas. The bill might be $350. You're gonna pick that up.
Yeah.
That's better than me putting my hands on you. That's better than me demeaning you because everybody gets their chance in pecking order. As you said, with football, I'm not going to front like we ain't have a crossover. I'm not going to front like, you know what I mean? We didn't do certain hazing things. Like if an old head told you to give him 50 push-ups, and I don't care if you was chilling outside with the fellas on a regular day in school clothes, and it might be females out there, whatever, you got to give them 50 push-ups. After practice and going towards practice, you might have to carry somebody's helmet and shoulder pads. Me being who I am now and knowing what I know, I wouldn't, I wouldn't necessarily go any further. You know what I'm saying? That's why I didn't pledge any fraternity because I started looking at it like, yo, I was hella popular. I was already a part of the biggest fraternity on campus, and we re-up every year 40, 50 people regardless. We got 40, 50 new teammates coming in next year regardless. So every year I started looking at it like that. Then I also started looking at it as connections. I just told somebody yesterday, I put it in my status. When I look at Norfolk State or any
Yeah.
school, or any situation, I go to make relationships. I'll do my schoolwork, but once I got out of high school, I realized, I mean, being a 4.0 student, being a 3.8 student don't matter no more. You know what I mean? Because most of those students, they didn't get a chance to mix and mingle. They didn't get a chance to socialize and build relationships. So I did what I had to do in the classroom to get a degree, but my main thing was building relationships, looking out for people. We had the
Right.
events,
That's
you know what
dope.
I'm saying? I worked in the bookstore. I worked at the movie theater. I worked at Wawa. So I would allow people to come to Wawa, hook them up. You know what I'm saying? I would allow people to come to the hotel when I worked at the front desk and use my discount. You know what I mean? You need a room, just certain things because I always looked at it as, man, we're gonna get older and you never know who
Yeah.
you're gonna need. Well, it's the same thing with that. You know what I mean? You get those, you become part of this organization to hope that one day you always have connections. You know what I mean? Whether if you're going to get a job and there's somebody in there that's a part of your organization, you can spark a conversation and it gives you a little bit of edge. It's the other things, you know what I mean? The things that they don't tell you, how we were allowed these things. People giving us a remix of our natural things. This is Kemet. You know what I mean? Greeks and
Right.
Romans are who are doing this to us today. If you get into truth, which is why it's like when you know what I know, you can't unknow it, right? But you got to walk on
Right.
eggshells because you can tell the truth, right? But you're gonna hurt people's feelings because their feelings are there. They can tell me a lie, and that can hurt my feelings, but it don't matter. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I would much rather keep the relationship and only spark that conversation when it's among people who can
Yeah.
at least respect the truth. Like, yo, I respect the truth. You right. I still made my decision. Cool, because it's never the body, it's always the head. I'm never saying nothing really to the body because you got into it for what you got into it for. It's just like the NAACP. Don't throw the NAACP on me because I know that organization has been infiltrated. I'll just leave it there.
Right.
We ain't got to argue and stuff. But if you want facts, I can go get you facts. Why? Who started that organization? They were
Right.
given privilege to start that organization. That organization is funded by whom has their foot on our neck. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
same deal. But all in all,
Right.
man, all sides. You know what I mean? I would want to see it just cleaned up because this can be the type of thing that can go out and you can be sued to the point where enough of these lawsuits you lose the organization. And I know people are really dedicated and put in time. They've done community service. They have celebrity influence. I know they wouldn't want to lose their organization. So
Right.
my heart goes out to the young man. I'm pretty sure that their family just wants justice. And I just pray that the young men who are involved in doing it, that their family will be there and be supportive their whole way out because it's an unfortunate situation. I'm pretty sure that their intent wasn't malicious to kill him. You know what I'm saying? So that's the hands. And then anybody else in other organizations all over, be it fraternity, sorority, or just brotherhoods and sisterhoods abroad. Just take that into consideration, man. There are very, 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 very uh, there are very much more uh, positive ways to haze, and it ain't even got to be called hazing, but there's positive reinforcement and there's positive challenges that you can place in front of somebody that can be beneficial and help them and the organization in bringing out better young men and young women that don't even
Yes, sir.
involve physical altercations whatsoever.
Yeah, man. So moving forward, man, more of the story, man. Like you, once you do something, man, once the action is done, man, you can't change it. You can't take that back.
Mhm.
And consequences are definitely coming. Um, we're gonna dive into the next story, man. We're gonna touch on this. Natalie Black, a student athlete, passed away in her sleep. Natalie Black was a sophomore track and field standout at Belhaven University. On Saturday, March 1st, Natalie and her team traveled to Clinton to compete in their first outdoor meet of the season. After the track meet, Natalie went home to spend time with her family, and after a long day, she laid down on the couch to take a nap, but never woke up. On Friday, her close friends, teammates, and family refused to let Natalie's light dim and held a candlelight vigil on the Belhaven track to keep her light shining bright. Man, it's tough, man. So like always, bro. Wow. Send our condolences out to the family, to her friends, to her teammates, to the school. Um, it's kind of tough. Like you never know when it's your time, man. So it's important to try to take care of yourself as much as you can. Um, hopefully, people that are her loved ones and those who are watching this situation, that you could take it as a learning experience, man, to pay attention because you never know. Always check on somebody because if they sleeping too long, then you know they ain't something ain't right. But like always, we say, man, we send our condolences out to this young athlete, Natalie Black, and to her family, friends, and loved ones.
Yeah, man. I second those that notion. Again, always continuing to check up on your health. Um, yeah, it's she's so young. You know what I mean. We can't negate the fact that she was young and she was a standout athlete. But this is why we preach getting your physicals. This is why we preach, eating correctly, trying to stay up on top of your health as best as possible. We don't really know if this was a sleep apnea situation. We don't know if she had a stroke, heart attack, anything, you know what I mean, until more. of the sources are revealed. But with this being said, I just know that it is just something that we can all learn from, and especially those with kids, those who coach, such as myself. This is why we in there, preaching and reaching out and getting tea for people who have bronchitis and who have asthma, those who get any type of issues with their brain, those who already have like depression, anxiety issues. We're just trying to bridge that gap. You know what I mean? Because number one, you can't teach what you don't know. So if a head coach don't know more than what he knows, he don't know if somebody's breathing funny or anything like that.
Right.
So that's why we're there, to be extra eyes, extra ears. And then, when the seasons, kick off, we ask questions. We trying to bridge that gap even tighter with the parents, because they could let you know exactly what are their allergies, what issues that they already have. Outside of that, only thing that you can do is just continue to, learn from it and stay on top of, your children's diets. A lot of these Takis, a lot of this candy, a lot of, the drinks that we drinking and, the stuff that they're having at 8, 9, 10 a.m. It's not nutritious. You gotta protect these babies. As I continue to say, a traditional American diet is, to me, it's a form of warfare. You know what I mean? And if you don't protect your child, that's a real sign of love. It's not necessarily continually giving them everything that we didn't have as far as materials. It's literally providing them with habits, with knowledge, with education that you weren't privy to, and then that you got at a later time. We're going to teach them earlier. And then one last thing before moving forward, all my athletes, student athletes, professional athletes, speak up. If anything feels irregular, you know what I mean? If there's a hiccup in the breathing, if the chest feels a little tight, if it just ain't right, don't run the race. You know what I'm saying? Speak up. Don't play that game. Speak up. Go see a doctor. Go to the emergency room. Tell your parents. Tell your coach. Tell a friend. Might be a big game you don't feel, but hey, I just don't feel right. Friends, family members, parents, you got to speak up. My child, I know this is a big game, or I might be just a regular game, but something's off. We got to go check. We got to get a second opinion. Do we need to get a third opinion? But take those precautionary measures. You know what I mean? Because when it's all said and done, we can try our best to prevent a candlelight visual. But once it's done, you don't get those points at the track meet no more. But even more, a young lady or a young man, we don't get their spirit in our life any longer. So, let's just take our
Sir.
proper measures on all of course. This is why, you got to strap up your staff. It's bigger than just X's and O's and physical. You got to strap up your staff with a well balance. You know what I'm saying? Because one coach can't do everything.
Hmm. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
man. So last week, we sent our condolences out to Angie Stone as we heard more about her story. With just her passing, and they were saying that, that the Sprinter van flipped over quite a few times, so we wanted to touch on that again this week as we spoke about Angie Stone dying in a car accident. But there has been, as I said last week, there's been concern that she may have survived the accident and died afterwards. Some thought it
Right.
strange out of 9 people involved that she was the only fatality. And they have been talking about. I told you there's gonna get on it on YouTube, TikTok, and there's been stories that's been posted on YouTube that we'll drop in the comments. But as you can see, I spoke on Angie Stone briefly having issues with her finances and her
Hmm.
contractual issues with the industry, and I know oftentimes, I speak on it and I say it and I overdo it, maybe. But this is why. I said it last week that I would not find it surprising if there was any funny business, and I stand on that. You know what I mean? And then for a Caucasian woman to pull Angie Stone out the vehicle, and she said that she put Angie Stone to the side. You know what I mean? And it was a truck, and the truck was on the highway, and then it skidded off, and it went through the median to the other side, and this truck had grazed the lady, but allegedly that's who hit Angie Stone. This 18-wheeler literally came and hit Angie Stone. That's what they're saying now. All in all, what I say is, again, man, save these babies as much as possible. If you're an adult and you're an entertainer or artist of any sort, uh, know what side of the game and who you play for. Do you play for the good or do you play for the evil? Are you playing for the Most High or are you playing for the low? You know, because when you sign up and you sign these contracts, although you may not know what you're signing at that moment, you've had enough of these type of stories and enough of these examples to want to learn what it is in your contract. And if somebody won't allow you to leave with the contract to go get, again, a second, third, fourth opinion, then that's not the contract for you. Today's time, we always say, you know, we have social media so much easier. I don't think that's necessarily the case as it being so much easier to make it. I just believe that there it is so much easier to make your gift, your dream, your talent come true with you having more control. I think that's what the opportunity leaves us nowadays. It's still going to take hard work. It's still going to take finance. It's still going to take creativity. It's still going to take you to actually be somewhat decent to build some type of following, to have some type of product or service that somebody wants. But you have to know, am I cool with being mom and pop? Am I cool with making $300,000 a year at my highest level, but that 300,000 comes to me first and then I divvy it out? Or am I cool with making $60 million a year and having no control and maybe getting $3 million out of 60 a year? It's all in how you measure success. To me, freedom means more. You know what I'm saying? So I want the freedom when I am 10, 15, 20 years, 30 years pass away, that I still have some type of control over where my things go. I also speak heavily about energy. So as we see, Angie Stone was locked in some deals in which that weren't beneficial to both sides. And a contract is supposed to benefit both sides. You know what I'm saying? If it is a righteous contract. The evil spirits are in a lot of these contracts. That's what I mean by frequency. And the only thing that we're thinking about and looking at that time is the money being provided up front, because a lot of us come from poverty. You know what I mean? So if somebody coming to you and telling you, well, tomorrow you can eat steak, if you just sign right here today and all you've been eating is air, or you've been eating ramen noodles, that sounds
Mm.
really good. But you have to see, and this is where faith comes in. This is where knowing yourself, like, man, I can walk away from anything and I'm gonna be good because this is the story that was written. You know what I mean? If it pleases the Most High, I don't want to bend and bridge and get involved in both sides. I don't want to play both sides no more, because
Right.
I see at the end, the higher you go up, for some reason, you got to have these weird friends or you got to do this stuff that you don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? And me personally, I just didn't want that to be, because, again, you got people that probably looked up to Angie Stone. And this is what I
Right.
mean by looking up to people and not knowing. You don't know what the heck is going on the back end. The only thing I can do is appreciate her gift that she's given and her talent, which is the music. But
Right.
this is why I say what I say, man. I completely wash my hands, because whether you call us conspiracy theorists, whether you say that we always messing up the fun, or here comes the bearer of bad news, I would much rather let you know that there aren't that many coincidences in the world, that when you ask for your money or you ask to be done right, that your life is taken. You know what I'm saying? I
Take
just feel like that's not
yes.
cool. And I don't want to be in war, with a machine when I don't have one behind me. And this is why a lot of times it hurts, because there are people when they initially start, you know what I'm saying? They chasing a dream. It's innocent, they have a beautiful voice or he got skills on the mic, but then they get locked in and giving themselves away to a organization or a company that further rips them further away from the community, and then they think they become one of them, and then they get screwed, and then after the years, you need the community. You know what I'm saying? Where this is what I mean by building it up on your own and just depending on the community. It just sucks that all of our genres of music, we sold out the ownership of it, the control of it for the bag. So now it's a bunch of artists, it's a bunch of acts, just being used as transactional figures, opposed of it being a powerhouse. Before I let you go, I know I'm long winded, but I know you remember the self destruction video
Facts.
with Heavy D, Big Daddy Kane, all these different people back in the day.
Right.
Um, we here. We were headed for self destruction. Now we're here.
Now we made it here. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
and that's how I think. You know what I'm saying? We were kids when we were down. They telling us stick together. You know what I'm saying? Stop this killing.
Yeah.
Stop this woo woo. But then you got somebody come in and say, "Yo, I got this big bag. If you keep killing each other, if you keep degrading each
Yeah.
other, if you keep being foolish, dude, what? Hey, what mean the world?" And then, like I said, don't matter how smart you are. Don't even matter if you're talented. If you're willing to push this agenda and you get the big bag, the person over here got the wisdom, been putting in, been helping out the kids all their life, been, you know what I mean, been the OG, even been in the streets, you know what I'm saying, left the streets alone, whatever. You the little guy, when the little young dude with the money come,
Mm-hmm.
his influence is more powerful.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to take 10 to 15. It's going to take his downfall. But see, the thing
Mm-hmm.
about you is you got to stay here the whole time. You got to stay on level 7. You ain't get to level 10, 12, 15, but you got to stay at a consistent level 7. That's where I'm at. I'm great at 8. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather have
Right.
the 8 that's great than be the 10 to make you think again. You know what I'm saying? Because all these 10s and 12s and 15s out here, they make you think twice because you don't know. You don't know if he wore the dress. You don't know if he had. You don't know if he snitched on some. You just don't know. But you
You
got
don't.
this. You
You
got that
don't.
Chinese store in the hood. They don't do commercials. They don't do nothing. They just stay consistent. They don't worry about who beefing. They don't worry about. They know you need shrimp fried rice. They know you need 4 chicken wing rice. They know you need to comb your hair. They know you're gonna need to pick your beard. They know you're gonna need that oil. They're gonna just
Mm-hmm.
provide what you need, and that's what we need to focus on more, of course individually, but man, we need to be focusing on that stuff as families, you know what I'm saying? Whereas though
Right.
you don't have to just lean on a company to give you a loan to start up your dream. You can say, hey, auntie, uncle, mom, dad, look, the restaurant doing good, the nail salon doing good, the hair store is doing good. I want to explore my musical talent and I want the family to invest in me. You know what I'm saying? So instead of this person taking it and this person taking it, and then you only getting 5 to 10% anyway. Now you can have 50% and then go into 50% with the fam. But go
Right.
ahead.
That's what you're supposed to be doing it for. But yeah, you summed it up, bro. So, man, we continue to encourage you to be your best, man. We continue to encourage you to be best at physically, mentally, and emotionally. Practice safe habits. We always ask that you protect yourself from the elements of this bitter cold, snow. You know what I'm saying? We ask that you dress accordingly because it's not summertime yet. So it's going to get cold when that temperature drops. So you want to be warm, safe, be in a cool environment. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because germs pass, people get sick. You don't be the next one to go to sleep and don't wake up. Try
Right.
to eat right. You know what I'm saying? Sleep. Get your proper sleep. Um, Meditate. Try to find positive things to do. Like me, I went back to my old days, man. So recently I picked up back in my coloring habit. I like to color,
Mm-hmm.
so I've been
Mm-hmm.
coloring, while I'm in the house, I've been doing things like that just to keep me in the house. Um, and I put up a post the other day, I work a lot and that helps me stay out the way. So
Mm-hmm.
by me working a lot and me now not just working, taking time out to be in the house and enjoy my company and build with my partner it feel better. You know what I'm saying? So I slowed myself down. I thank God that I'm able to slow down now, and I'm really in tune with what we got going on, and I'm thankful. So I also use the number 988. Don't hesitate and don't be late. You know what you got there, Brody?
This is an adult coloring book. So
Yes, sir.
I just got into my next
Dang,
caregivers core caregivers group. It's like a support group. They do them
dang, that's
about
crazy,
twice a
man.
year.
We in tune, man.
So
That's
they gave us a coloring book. They sent us a packet, you know what I mean? And you pretty
that's
much
dope.
in class with other caregivers. I'm the youngest and I'm the only male. I often find that, you know, discouraging and, you know, also at the same time a blessing, you know what I'm saying, that I was there for daddy. But it's a lot of widows, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of widows in there, and
Right.
it's a lot of just older women taking care of their husbands. But when you said the coloring book, I just wanted to show you because that is one of the ways of therapy as well. That's one of the ways of therapy and meditation. Just taking time to
Yes,
yourself,
sir.
and you know what I mean, that quiet time. It's whatever that quiet time where you get to allow your thoughts to go naturally, and you can eliminate them and move them and put them how you need to put them so you can focus on that one thing. I just, you know, when you say meditation and we speak of meditation, I just don't want you to think that you have to sit with your legs
Right.
crossed, and you know what I mean, because that's not everybody's thing, and you
Right.
may be able to get to that. I look at gardening. That's why I'm pushing the gardening and the farming as a form of therapy, though.
Mm-hmm.
And as time progresses, you know, we will be able to break that down and give my approach on how I take it. But just yesterday, just tilling the soil was just therapeutic. You know what I mean? Because it's so quiet. You can hear everything. You can hear the wind blow. You can hear, you know, birds, different chirps. You know, you can hear a frog
Mm-hmm.
if a frog is out there. But you can literally hear yourself think without all the madness in the world, and you're connecting. You know what I mean? You're able to connect with the Most High through Mother Nature. So always keep that in mind. We want you to exercise too, and we want you to also stay on top and be the best you can be financially. We have to continue to push this financial literacy, financial knowledge, financial habits, better financial habits, discipline, and obedience with our money. We have to not, we got to keep emphasizing that because we're scared of money. You know what I'm saying? We don't talk about money in the terms of just the bag. We don't go further than that. Oh, he getting a bag. How much he making? We don't get in the terms of interest and what equity mean. The difference between interest and equity. We don't
Mm-hmm.
get into the difference of what's going on in the crypto world. We're not talking about the stock. We're not talking about life insurance. We're not talking about IRAs and Roth. We need to talk about these things more. So please, as bro said, eat better, take care of yourself. It starts with self love. You know what I mean? If you really, really love yourself, how everybody continues to pop it about their self being pressure and being, you know, so bad and so the top of this and top of that, then love on yourself. You know what I'm saying? And without it being in a form of vanity, you know, we mixing materialism and vain from compliments opposed to confidence, what we should
Yes,
have
sir.
within the one of itself. So loving yourself is going to be crucial in these next, you know, few months, days, and years. As we move forward, we do have one last story, very popular, especially in our area, the DMV area. A lot of conversation. It was very, very discouraging after a while the way adults were attacking these young ladies. But nonetheless, man, Virginia high school track runner hit in the head with a baton during a race. Excuse me, Kaylin Tucker, a junior at Brookville High School, was running in the second leg of the 4x200 relay in the Virginia State High School League Championships when the shocking incident occurred. We're going to get right to that video.
Yes, sir.
Watch again as you see the two. Junior Kaylin Tucker was running the second leg of the 4x200 relay in the Virginia State High School League Championships when the shocking incident happened.
That's when she hit me with the baton.
Watch again as you see the two sprinters running side by side as they round the corner with Kaylin on the outside, Kaylin's mother cheering her on. Just as Kaylin is passing the other runner, the athlete swings her baton, striking Kaylin.
I just felt a bang on my head, and then I fell off the track immediately.
Kaylin dropping her baton and reaching for her head.
The whole Coliseum pretty much gasped. I just jumped up out of the bleachers immediately and ran to her on the main floor.
The 16-year-old was later diagnosed with a concussion. The family says neither the athlete who struck Kaylin nor the other team's coaches checked on Kaylin or reached out afterwards.
To see that they kept running and she not stop and check on my daughter, that was the part where I was like, it couldn't have been an accident.
Icy Norcom track star speaks out after hitting the opponent in the head with the baton. Alila Everett, a track star senior at IC Norcom High School, is speaking out following shocking footage where she struck an opponent in the head with the baton and allegedly injured her during a relay race. Before going to that video, we're just going to get our thoughts. Just starting off, it was a lot, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, after a while, I got tired of seeing just adults not take the approach to where, like she said, whether it was an accident or on purpose, I feel like the young lady should have just went to go check on the other young lady. From my perspective, I just seen the young lady. She was running pretty much out of control, because if you look at the lane, she wasn't in the middle of the lane. She was more so 1 foot away from being in the next young lady's lane who was struck in the head. Purpose or not, people are gonna have their own thoughts, so that don't even matter. What I do think is there possibly was something said before, or they might have had some priors conversation. You know how people could be talking trash, because it just looked like she was running out of control. You know what I mean? And I don't get that, because most of the time when you're on the inside, you want to stay as far inside as you can get, because you know what I mean, you have that angle on people. What I would teach my child, until they said something about a concussion, I would have told my child, because it looked like she could have kept running. You know what I mean? Like, yo, if you can keep going, I mean, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Those batons, they pretty hard, but it's not like they cement. You know what I mean? That's not steel. It's hollow. You know what I mean? It's air between it. So if you can, it looked like she could have kept picking them legs up, but now that they reported concussion, I get that. Me personally, I would teach my kids, I mean, if you can finish the race, and then we'll figure it out afterwards, because you could have possibly still won. You know what I mean? Now we're just automatically out of the race. Consequences, I don't want to see that young lady be prosecuted. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want to see her go to jail behind that, but I would want to see her disqualified. I would like to see her suspended. You know what I mean? Because there ain't no room for that. You know what I'm saying? Even if it was an accident. I remember being disqualified. I had 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties my senior year, you know, and I got suspended for 2 games behind that, you know, so that hurt my senior year. And although I had a decent senior year, I broke a record, I did all that, I could have had an even better one, but that's the consequences, because you know why? There are rules. And the only reason why I would want it to play out that way is because I often, you know, remind my young men or young women that I speak to, that life, I want to give you what life gonna give you. So life is gonna always present you consequences for your actions. So be mindful of that. Also be ready for that, on how strenuous the consequences can be. I also believe in second chances. So me being a person, especially who knows our community, if you're not eating right, you ain't thinking right. So if you ain't thinking right, it's hard to tell somebody 15, 16, 17 years old to have control of their emotions, have control of their mind and their actions. I mean, we would love to see it, but we know in the heat of competition, you know, it's even harder to tell somebody who already don't have good examples of emotional intelligence, and control over their emotions and their feelings. It's hard, because a lot of parents out here, they can speak that. It could sound good in an interview, it could sound good on the news, but they don't make the right decisions a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? So we also got to be realistic. As I said, with the other young men, you know, who were involved in the hazing, I know we really don't need to be seeing no more of us behind bars at the hands of an accident, at the hands of emotions, at the hands of just the spare of the moment, just being caught up in the moment. But yes, I would like to see, because they're not going to be able to rerun the race. That's what it's all about when you talk about track meets, and you talking about the state. This is it. This is what you work so hard for. That's why I would
Right.
want my athlete or my child. Like, look, if you ain't about to throw your hands, you know what I'm saying? You might as well finish. Like, yo, and then we'll deal with. You didn't do nothing wrong. So you're not going
Right.
to get any consequences. So if you can finish, if not, then this is what we're here for. We'll adhere to the concussion protocol. We'll get her some lion's mane, some ginkgo biloba, some gotu kola, and just work on, restructuring that brain because concussions, they're not often seen in track, but they play a big part in athletes' lives, especially football down the road. So you just want to stay on top of all that. Send my prayers out to these young ladies, families, and for the IC Norcom track star. I just pray she learns from this. I pray within her heart somewhere that within learning from this, that she does issue a personal apology to the young lady, not a public apology to the world or not apologizing to the young lady through something written out. But that these two young ladies get to speak as athletes and, she get to hug her and just let her know, like, look, whether it was on purpose or if it was an accident, if she can even be honest and tell a young lady, like, man, I was wrong. You know what I'm saying? I was caught up in my feelings, my emotions. Or if it's just genuinely an accident, just tell that young lady the truth and let that young lady decide, like, yo, do you really want to press charges? Do you really want to do this? You know what I'm saying? Oftentimes, it's not the kid, who wants to see another kid, go to jail behind something like that, but they would like to see them get in trouble of some sort. And she does deserve to get suspended. But I don't want to see her lose her opportunity. If she has scholarship offers on the table or anything like that, I wouldn't want to see her lose her scholarships because why do we need more bad statistics? What we do need is for them to get that young lady some anger management, as well as some training, you know what I'm saying? Because she was surely about to be out of her lane. So she just needs to tighten it up and yeah, get her some mental health help at this point because whatever was going on when whatever happened, but now they're both going
10
to
times
need
worse.
it. Yeah, recovering from the situation. So I wouldn't want to see all the doors close on her at the age of 16, and then she
Right.
be, prosecuted and all that because you give a 16-year-old, you can give them two choices. You can give them the mind to, okay, discipline me and then let me, show that I've grown from this, or you can just discipline them and that can be the end of it. You know what I'm saying? You can discipline her and she can just go down a road because she might get locked up or something behind this. So yeah, I know records follow you, so I wouldn't want to see her, have a record. She already has public
Mhm.
humiliation and
Amelia.
public opinion.
Yeah. And that's gonna be her biggest punishment. Before I give my thoughts, I want to give my thoughts off after the next video because I really already feel the same way you feel in the first part. Um, but I want to highlight something that made me feel a certain different type of perspective. So run that next video.
The young athlete in question says there's more to that video than meets the eye.
Everybody has feelings. So you're physically hurt, but you're not thinking of my mental, right? So I received the baton. I'm second leg merges, so when I was merging, I was like, okay, I'm doing good. I only see one person in front of me. Then on the curve, I seen something yellow in my peripheral, which was her uniform. And she was so close to me that my baton kept hitting her. And it's either keep hitting her or fall into the metal railing that's on the bank track. So eventually, like, after a couple times hitting her, my baton got stuck behind her back like this, and it rolled up her back. I lost my balance, and when I pumped my arms again, she got hit. And I thought about, I wanted to check on her, but I knew that, I was like, I'm just finish the race. I didn't have to see your first video, second video, 10 video. I know 100% that she won't do this to nobody.
Everett family was served with court papers.
And now we have to go to a city 3 hours away that everybody hates our guts already.
So yeah, basically what I noticed is all the smirking and the laughing. So
Hmm.
evidently it was something that triggered her to do what she did. By the time she make it to the news, you kind of feel sorry for yourself, I guess. But that's what I felt from there. Like it had to, I feel like it was intentional, but the smirking and all that make me feel like it's intentional. So but that's here or there. That's for y'all to put y'all perspective on it. I feel for the young lady that did the action. I feel for the lady that's the victim, but I also feel for the girl that actually performed the action, because whether she get disciplined by the law or not, it's going to hinder you going forward, as far as other people looking at you, whether you're getting scouted, whether you're going to get a job, because this is going to be on the internet for the rest of your life.
Hmm.
Period. So they're going to see that you can't control yourself, or maybe you could. Who knows? But like I said, the media is going to damage her more than her action just damaged her.
Yeah,
So
the court
that's
of
how I
public
feel.
opinion.
Yeah, facts. That's a
Yes.
fact.
But
So
yeah, I feel like you do too. And a lot of people, I'm just glad somebody else picked up on it, because that type of stuff is what police look at when they interview you. You know what I'm saying? They want to check your body language. They want to, like, you 1 minute you go from about to cry and then you about to smile and ain't no tears. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
that's why
yeah,
I don't get into was it on purpose? Was it this? Because it wasn't something life threatening, but it just
right,
sucks, because what if it was something life threatening? What if that hit in the head turns into like the young man who was hit in the chest, and not that the blow from the baton did it, but throwing her off balance, her running fast, she tripped, then she split her
hit her
head
head.
open. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you saying everybody's thinking about that young lady, but what about my mental health? And it's like, well, but coming into this thing, we didn't know you had a mental health issue. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Did you
You
acknowledge the
didn't, or
coach
you
that
should
you
have.
need?
Yeah, and you should have sat that race out, because she's the victim, and that's what I don't like. You know what I'm saying? I don't like how people really be victims and they don't get nothing. They get it hijacked from people saying, was it on purpose or not? It don't matter. She did that. It did. If you
Yeah,
know that something is rubbing up against somebody, and I promise you, we don't have no picks in the fight. So when we looked at her running, it didn't look like she was close to no rail. It looked like she was close to the other lane. It looked like she was
right,
one step over from the other lane. So this
right.
rail
And that
and all
would
that,
trigger you to mess up the whole race. That could have triggered her to mess
yeah,
up the whole race, because she's going to get
and all
disqualified if she go in that lane.
and
If she
only thing
cross
you
over in
gotta
the other
do.
lane, what happens, bro? She gets disqualified. So that could have triggered her to, you know what?
But I think no, I don't think she get disqualified. I just think if she go in that lane, she lose her position. That's why everybody be trying to stay inside. Like, because when you run in that race, you could change positions. My thing
Mm-hmm.
is, my like you said, that's just like, when somebody is telling you something, you start laughing, you feel like they're not paying you attention or they don't care. You know what I mean? It's something as simple as that. I don't get, like I said to you, it's just like if somebody arguing, and you have a white shirt on and somebody's going back and forth with you over whose fault it is that you spilled the juice on you. It don't matter. You're gonna have to change that shirt. Don't even matter no
Yeah,
more. It'll be cool if you apologize, but if you don't, it don't even matter. Still gotta get another shirt. So in my heart of hearts, I just wish she's just apologized and took it on the chin, whether it was on purpose or not. It's just like, man,
yeah,
that that was my bad. You know what I mean? I
yeah.
was wrong for that.
Take
You know
accountability
what I'm
for that
saying?
action.
That's it. Because when you do, like you said, when you smile and smirk and stuff, and then everybody pick and choose
Even if,
mental health
like you
when
said, bro, even if it was
before,
an
hold on one
accident.
second.
Oh, go
But
ahead.
everybody pick mental health when they get in trouble.
Right.
You know what
After
I'm
the fact.
saying? Yeah, now you want people to really worry about what's gonna happen to your mental health, and it's just like, if you got issues, if you know you upset, if you know you mad, then tell somebody beforehand. Because even if they don't pull you out of the race, they can go do breathing techniques. They can walk with you and talk real quick. They can clear your head. They can help you clear your mind. So whatever you mad at or something, it can go by, and then you can go run your race or you can go perform with a sound mind. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
Nah, but that's what I was about to say too, man. And being though, like just like you said, like even if you take accountability, whether it was an accident or not, you still didn't apologize. You said you were going to stop, but you said, "Forget it. I might as well just finish the race."
Yeah,
So it's nothing. Whether you did it on purpose or if you say it was an accident, where's your emotion? Where's the part to
the
apologize
empathy.
for your action, whether you're right or wrong? Because it still was
Yeah.
an effect that caused that young lady to get put out the race and have harm done to her at the same time.
Right. And that shows that you just don't have a sense of empathy. You know what I mean? Y'all both run track, so it could have easily been you if it was an accident, you know what I'm saying? Or if it wasn't.
Hmm.
That could have easily been you. So it should be easy for you to identify to just be like, man,
Hmm.
I really apologize. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. When these parents get involved, and parent gonna automatically take their kid's side, and that's why I
Hmm.
love the position I have because I don't do that, man. Even with myself, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You can justify, you know what I mean? Because if she say that I did this, and we would say, well, why did you do that? You know what I'm saying? She would be able to say, well, we had an argument or we had a whoop de whoop, and she said they're still justified. I'm not saying that it's right, but at least now we can put the picture together and it can make sense. Like, yo, where did this come from? Because now you just got
Right.
people on the edge looking, well, was it on purpose or was it not? And my thing is, it don't matter. You got a young lady who has a concussion. She got the race ended for her. You got a young lady who's facing criminal charges now, which we don't want her to be facing. You know what I'm saying? So now it's just
And
now
more
it's
than
on the
likely, she's going to get expelled.
yeah.
She
So
could be facing
um
expulsion.
yeah. So at the
You
end
know.
of the day, we don't want especially student athletes because then that means that you care. You care to some degree to get out of wherever you are. You know what I mean? You want to keep going. You're competing to get a scholarship. You're competing, to be on a team. So you care. Um, Learning experience for all future athletes. Be mindful that when you use whatever, your helmet, the ball, the baton, the skates, when you use these things as a weapon or they become a weapon, be mindful of what can happen. So when you're training, now this needs to be something that's taught in training. Even more and focused on even more. Staying in your lane. Establishing position, and staying in the middle or staying wherever you're going to establish your position to do it. But it's something for coaches and trainers to now focus on a little bit more, and then it's just something for all parties to learn from parents, athletes, coaches, and spectators because some of the things that we've heard as far as death threats and stuff like that is just it's just absurd. It's a track meet. You know what I'm saying? It's kids, and kids are gonna be kids, in which we all of us adults, we've all been kids. So you can't act like you haven't done something spiteful, and say it was an accident, and you can't act like you can't act like you never did something on accident that somebody took as on purpose. So we've all been there in some degree because you can't control how people respond to what happens to them. So with that being said, prayers go out to both sides. Above all, the victim. We really send our prayers out to you because you did nothing wrong. Absolutely. I just pray that your parents find it in their heart to keep whatever needs to be done. That young lady's record clean and her out of prison or jail. You know what I'm saying? If she needs to be expelled, if she needs to be suspended, if she whatever needs to be done, because I dealt with that too. We dealt with a standout wide receiver who was expelled for the year. He was still able to go to Renaissance and still, get his credits for the year, and he was able to come back to the team at the end of the season. But there has to be some type of protocol so everybody learns from it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So with that being said, man, this is your leaders only digital show and podcast live streaming every Sunday at 2, man. We appreciate you joining us, man. For season 5, episode 21. We hope that you enjoyed the show. We look forward to you joining us next week. Let us know what you like about our show. Let us know your concerns, man. We ask that you bring your concerns, your topics, your ideas, your perspective to the comment section, to the chat, to the email. Give us some thought. Give us some ideas, man, because we are very, 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 very in touch with y'all and open to what you have to say, what you're thinking, what's on your mind, man. And if anything that you need or anything that could change your situation as far as your health, anything like that you have thoughts about, questions about, man, that's why Samaj is here. The mental health shelf is here. Like, that's what he's here for. That's what he does. Any training, anything like that, any tips, anything like that, moving, cleaning, plant-based diets, plant-based meal preps, anything of that nature, man. You can tap in with us. Everything is at the bottom of the ticker, man. We are brought to you here by What It Changed Mentoring Inc. and Tone Drone TV. I am your host, Kendall.
And I am Samaj.
And like always, man, we ask that you please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, comment below, email us at leadersonly22@gmail.com. You got anything,
Yes, and
bro?
we'd love to hear from you. We'll see you next week at the same time. It's been a blessing. Love, peace to each and every one of you. And as bro said, don't be a stranger to www.mentalhealthchef.com. We
Yes,
also
sir,
have
man.
the off-white. So we have a
Yes, sir.
message, August 31st, the all-white 20-year anniversary. Tickets, or
Box
not
looking good,
tickets,
boy.
excuse me. Invitations going out this week, as well as
Yes, sir.
theallwhite.com website. It'll be launched this week. Thank you, man. My hair is definitely healthy.
It's
Definitely
growing,
been
man.
growing.
Looking good, boy.
Man, I
My
appreciate it.
joint's down.
Appreciate yours too. Yeah.
Yes, sir, man. Peace, love,
Right.
blessing. Great show, man. Love you, man.
Love you too.
His family, friends, and all of my Spartan alumni, new and old. It's been a minute, man, but we're back, and we've got a whole lot to celebrate. The All White is making its grand return for its 20-year anniversary, and trust us, we got a venue that's pretty much bigger than ever. We're not just bringing the tradition back and restoring the legacy, we're elevating it. This year, it's more about the party, the legacy, giving back, and celebrating greatness. We're honoring you and our brothers, Kevin Talley and Terrell Whitehead, for their induction into the Spartan Football Hall of Fame, launching scholarships for future Spartans, and we'll be supporting the Green Run High School football team. Oh, and did we mention, I'm in full character because we've got a dope comic book series tied into this event. The storytelling, the energy, the memories, the impact, it's all coming together. We're bringing it back home to Norfolk, where it all started. It's going down Labor Day weekend, so that's your answer. Sunday, August 31st, 2025. Mark your calendars. Go ahead and get the shopping. Go ahead and spread the word. Tell a friend to tell a friend, because this is an invite-only event. So be on the lookout for that exclusive link to get yours. Stay locked in.